What's good, YouTube? How we doing today? Tone, Brian Main again. And today I want to talk about Season 2, which is probably going to happen sometime next year. And what I want to see from the community or the devs to make this game a lot better and more fun. And just overall balance changes, whatnot, and mechanics. So Season 1 has been really fun. But there's definitely been like a bunch of broken stuff, like Dragunov, obviously. Wall blast mechanics, damage, heat, all that. And most of the time Tekken games for the first year are usually in their like alpha testing phase. So we've been playing the most unbalanced part of the game, even though we've gone through like maybe 5 balances in like a year. The next season could be really promising, but here's what I want to see. The first thing that comes to mind is heat smashes are really strong in this game. And even though it uses your entire heat bar, sometimes I feel like it's better for it to hit me and it to be over with so I can play neutral again than when I block it. And this gives a similar feeling of like Rage Drive. Because the moves are either gonna do one thing, they're either gonna wall splat, wall break, or they're gonna floor break. It just feels like really stupid. And then on block, you're a plus into an unavoidable mix-up in stance or something. So that is always going to be one pain point of every single round, unless you don't let them do it, right? And there is other ways to do heat, but it's really noticeable when you fight characters such as like Eddie or Jin or Heihachi, where they just want to do the heat smash, right? Regardless of it hitting or not, they don't give a fuck, and it's just like too good. So I think heat smashes shouldn't interact with the stage. A lot of them do floor break, hard floor break. So even if it's a 2 floor break thing, it should be just 1. Point 2, in this game we have chip damage, right? And I'm not gonna sit here and say like chip is like too much or whatever. It's the first time we have chip. Coming with the chip damage also comes with the healing from it. And there's a lot of times in the game you'll take a bunch of chip damage and you hit rage, and then you hit a heat engager, then you're at rage at like 60%. And this is like a huge problem because you stay in rage and have all the benefits of doing that. And in my opinion, how they should fix this is like once you heal above like say like 30%, you lose your rage again, and it would be a lot more healthy that way, so that you can still heal, because I think healing is fine, and you're not just doing a shit ton of damage like tag 2. Next. So netcode and ranked. So recently they like dished out a rank change where you find the same rank a lot of the time. But the problem with ranked right now is that it's too easy. And what I mean by this isn't like, oh, I can just pick any character and get God of Destruction. For me, when I played Tekken 7, it took me like 4 years or 3 years to reach the max rank. And this is because of the rank system is changed. You're rewarded with a 3 win streak in a row. I don't think that should be a thing, because you're able to snowball through ranked a lot. I know this is gonna like sound like kind of ass for newer players, but I think the 3 rank -2 should stay, like the double points should stay. And when you D-rank, you shouldn't go to promotion chance. A lot of people lose their demotion so that they can promote and they have more points than just winning the full set. And it's just like kind of unhealthy and shows you how beneficial it is to D-rank in this game with the points and stuff. For people at the top rank, like it's just like we have nothing else to grind for. They could give you a lot more ranks, but it's still going to be the same thing, just like a thinner spread of just like people just getting to the max rank and getting bored, right? So in Tekken 7 they added a new rank and it fixed ranked for like a week max. So I hope they don't do the same implements as like T7 and actually address how easy it is to rank up in this game. So another thing that I think is a really big problem with this game is that every single stage has at least like 1 mechanic or 2 mechanics to it. There's either like a wall blast or a wall break or a balcony break or a floor break. Like you run into ranked and you're probably playing on one of those stages and you load into a Paul on like underground arena and you're like, oh, you know, every like wall is like a wall blast. And it's just like feels like the stages have lost like their uniqueness. Every single stage is like overtuned in a way. Hopefully they either make it worse, because I know like they made the damage lower for the wall blasts and stuff. Just like single hit into a combo, that happens way too many times, right? So like characters with like low knockdown or mid knockdown mix-ups have a higher reward on those stages. So Eddie Gordo, Paul, characters like that, and it just like happens so much, right? Like low heat smashes like Claudio. The next thing I want to talk about is heat dashes. Heat dash and heat smash are both kind of brain dead in the sense that you just throw it out and hope it hits, and then you get a mix up after. And in the beginning of this game, heat dashes used to do the wall stun, and they removed that, and that's really, really good. It used to be a lot more easier to close out the game off of heat dash and into a low that you can low parry or a mid. But now you can actually still sidestep or rage art after. The problem with heat dash is the moves that you can use to heat dash are all the heat engagers, right? And there's too many moves in this game that go from unsafe to +5. And it should be, in my opinion, it should be like the plus moves or the safe moves can go into like a dash to make it more plus. But moves that are unsafe, for example, like Nina's Power Crush, should just be safe instead. So that you still are trying to use it for the aspect of power crushing, but you're making it safe, so it's a benefit of that. So that would be kind of nice to do, even though like the follow-ups are balanced by like what moves are like heat engagers, which ones are combos and whatnot. You should make it a consistent thing. There's like back 4-3 from Dragunov, that's a launcher, and then there's like Ling Hypnotist 2, that's a launcher with like a low knockdown. So they've made changes to this in the past, like Feng's back turn 2 Power Crush heat dash no longer gives a combo, but I think they should make it more balanced. Like they should do that to a lot more moves that heat engage or you can heat dash off of. How would you about wake up low kicks kind of launcher with instant tornado? How would I feel about it? I don't think wake up kicks are a problem right now. Right now, wake up kicks feel like they're a stop to momentum rather than a huge reward on counter hitting. I do think the low one should be unsafe, like -11. It's already really hard to low parry in space, and you give up a lot of pressure if you do hit it. The problem with the low and the mid wake up kicks is how plus they are on hit rather than them existing. The low wake up kick is like +8, and then the mid one is like +8. Spring kick is like +2, and it's like, bruh, why is this so much damage or so many frames, right? So it just feels really stupid, especially when you fight like a full crouch character. Low parry is doing non-recoverable HP for how much damage you get. I think low parries are in a good spot right now. Like you still get to carry to the wall if you sacrifice your heat to do that. And I don't think that doing a low parry should do permanent health damage, because then people would just be spamming low parry, then people wouldn't be doing lows, and then the game would slow down. And then we would get more something like T7, right? And we don't want that. We want to be able to play the game. We want to be able to like throw hands and poke and shit. Something that I think we should be able to do is low parrying low heat smash moves or heat smashes in general. A lot of the time, like there's like -12 or -14 low heat smashes or -16. To make this balanced, making them low parryable would be a lot better, because sometimes you get mixed by a low or a low heat smash because you didn't block and you just low parried instead. So I think that would be healthy to let them be low parried. I don't think they should be able to be mid parried, but I think low parried is fine. Increase the damage of low heat. The problem with increasing the damage of low heat is that the reason why they're good is because usually mid heat engagers have like a small low that they mix with, or a health sweep. The low heat engagers are mixed with a mid heat engaging launcher. So for example, when Shaheen does sneak and he's like this, and then you're like, oh fuck, do I block for the low heat smash, or do I block for the mid safe plus heat engager that's gonna combo me to the other side of the wall? So you just hold the heat smash and you die, right? So I don't think that the damage should increase. I think it's fine how it is, because the risk reward is that you're supposed to be standing a lot in this game. So lobby features and friend lists and stuff. In this game, it's kind of annoying to set up a lobby, which is why we use the arcade and get first to 2 there. I think that if you're gonna be able to play on a cabinet, you should be able to have a setting where you change it from like first to 2 or unlimited rematch. And also in quick match, you should be able to have unlimited rematch too. I think the casual aspect to those two lets you take away from the first to 2 pressure. And I understand like having ranks as first to 2 is fine. I think that's fine because it translates to tournament really well. But when you want to practice a lot of games and you run into a matchup that you want to keep playing, you just lose them, right? And a lot of people play quick match to alleviate the pressure, to have fun with friends, and they constantly have to go back, search again, go back in. And if you think you're gonna run into a problem where people are hogging the cabinet, we've had arcade mode for so long, or what is it called, fight lounge for so long. It's never been fully occupied in every single region. And if you do run into that issue, then you can just make more, right? Because right now there's only like 3 Japans, and you can go to any single region, which is why it's really good, because it's server based, or it's like peer to peer. So finding lobbies is really hard, like searching for them. I think it could be better. I do like the amount of people you can invite now. I like the amount of groups that you have, and the customization of like how many details you can go to. So like first to 3, first to 2, first to 5, time, whatnot, unlimited rematch. That's really good. But if you could make it easier for people that aren't friends to invite each other, that would be better. And I have been on the other side where getting a lot of random invites is annoying, but it's better than not being able to invite your friend or like have to add through replays and stuff. And that goes to my next point. Adding friends should be a lot easier in this game. Like, you should be able to just search up their username that they have and find them, right? Instead of using a code. And I understand like a lot of people have the same username, but you can tell them like, oh, I'm this player with this character and I'm this rank. And it filters out a lot of people, right? Like, not everybody's gonna be like Toxic Man, Jack God of Destruction, and blah blah blah. And if it comes down to that where you get confused between the two, then you have the friend code, right? I think being locked behind remembering or like having to go to find your friend code and then adding someone through the replay and then sending a friend request, and you got to go to settings and you go to friends and then you go to friends requests, is really annoying, right? It takes a long time. Like right now I just use Steam like instead of adding people, so I don't add people on Tekken anymore. And then crossplay is even worse because you have to do that, right? In 2XKO, they had like a huge lounge similarly to like our fight lounge, and I think it'd be cool if we had our own personal homes where we had lobbies and could like invite people like that. It would make lobbies a lot more fun that way. The screen in the lounge is super cool. Like having that like just stream like whatever matches are going on in the cab, so you can sit in the crowd and actually watch it. Customization. So a lot of people run out of customizing slots, and I do think that I speak for like the waifu community here, where they want more customization slots. The reason why I think this is beneficial for the Tekken community or like the Tekken devs is because you guys are releasing so many DLC costumes, and you're releasing so many things that people want to wear and buy, right? And if you make more custom slots, then they're more willing to buy those things and customize and make more customs, right? So you make more money, people are happier, good, right? I do remember like old stages used to be a thing that we used to ask for, like give us like electric fountain and we'll pay you, right? Like bringing back old stages, if you could create those, and we'll pay for those. So DLC packs for stages would be cool. Even though we did have a huge upset with having to pay for the Heihachi stage, I think if you advertise it as something that you do have to buy and just have like a pack of stages that you could import, it would be really cool. The other thing is being able to lab characters that you don't own is a huge thing. You're paying for a $70 game, and then you have to pay what, $7, $8 per character that comes out, and 4 of them come out in a year, or you buy the season pass, and it's on top of that plus the arcade stick plus your internet and all that. So you're paying for microtransactions just to be able to play the game fully, and you can't just ignore characters in this game and not lab them, right? Because you'd be at a disadvantage. And from previous experience, every single DLC character gets spammed in ranked by every single person trying to learn them because they're so excited to play the new character. Heihachi is the most popular character in ranked right now. Everybody probably hates Heihachi or plays Heihachi. When Eddie came out, same thing. Lydia came out, same thing. And the next character, which we don't know about yet, is probably going to have a similar thing. So I think being able to at least watch our replays and get recommendations or take control of them in the replays is good. Being able to lab their move list and go through their moves and record them, it wouldn't be a downside for you guys either, or like the devs, sorry. Because what if people want to go through the move list and look through it, and then they want to decide on, buying them. Next, I want to talk about specific characters and what I think they need to be nerfed on. I'm just going to go through them alphabetically. I want to talk about each character's thing that we should balance, right? So this is alphabetical order, so we'll go over it. Alisa is waifu. and she is Chainsaw's woman. She has power crushes and shit, and I think her problem right now that makes her so strong, because a lot of people say that she's top 5, is the forward 2-1 heat engaging being -10. Her chainsaws are too low risk, high reward, and they do a lot of chip on block. So even if you do block against her successfully, as long as she has those chainsaws out, you're like losing all your gray life, right? It would be nicer if it didn't do as much chip, or if you could low parry the chainsaws, because historically in Tekken you cannot parry weapons, right? Which makes her chainsaws really broken, because you're just sitting there eating like a knockdown 60 damage mid if you go for the low parry. Otherwise you're getting chipped out, or the high is gonna constantly fuck you up, right? Her movement is still really good. Her ease of use is still there. Her power crushes and her side steps and backdash make it really hard to hit this character. And like in a game that's aggressive like Tekken 8, it feels like there's a lot of female characters in this game where they try to like buff their offense without thinking about why they weren't offensive in the first place. So Elisa is one of those, and Elisa has that defensive the defense, which is like the backdash distance, the sidestepping, the power crushes, the hop kick, the natural hitbox of how far she gets when she backdashes a single time is huge. And you have to do a lot of dashing into her, which lets her do like hop kicks and stuff. So if they were to tune down her offensive side so it doesn't feel oppressive on both sides, it would be more balanced, kind of similarly to like how Lily is. Like her defensively, it's really hard to hit her, but when she's hitting you, it's not too bad, right? It's not as bad. Asuka's in a okay spot. I think her damage is really high. I think she got a lot of good buffs in the game coming through the season 1. She got a lot of Naniwa buffs. She got her Sabakis and parries are still really good. Her Ken isn't as good as June's because of the pushback, but it's still good. She's still like a counter hit demon, and her playstyle is really obnoxious because she has so many panic moves. So I think she's in a decent spot right now. So I don't think there's anything I would really want from her besides maybe not letting her get Naniwa up every single thing. Like she gets it so much, and yeah. Azucena is really trash right now. This is kind of rightfully so because she was really strong on release. Like she was top 3 doing running 3-2 to us, and we're just like, bro, everyone was complaining about Azucena for like forever, and they made her unplayable, right? So Bamco has this tendency to just make characters just out of meta, and now she's just like became a stancy 50-50 character. I do think she's still okay when she has like her decent matchups. They did nerf her Power Crush Heat Engager and gave her more combo damage, but I would say to buff her like regular Tekken more. So like make her tracking on her G1 better, or like her down forward 1, and make her down back forward do more damage like it used to. Give her like, I don't know, something better in heat, because like the stance stuff is just gimmicks, you know? Like if you're not trying to hit her with a high in her stance and stuff, or like her going auto into stance, she's really not that scary. So Brian is in a really good spot, maybe too good. As a Brian main, I will say just to leave him as he is. The only thing that would be nice to nerf maybe is 4-2-1-2, but I'm not going to talk about that too much because fuck it. If they leave it, they leave it. Claudio is basically, he's like upper mid tier. I think he's in a decent spot for how easy he is. I think what's really good with him is the down back 1+2 in Starburst. And he gets Starburst so much now. I think he gets unlimited Starburst in heat. So he's just constantly doing forward 1+2, 1+2, or like 4 down back 1+2s in a single round when he has heat. And his back 4-2 is unparryable, so maybe make his second hit of back 4-2 parryable. His hop kick is still the same, like basically a T7 import with unlimited starburst. So I do think he's okay right now. The only thing I would change is maybe the damage on his heat smash and make it -15. And yeah, Devil Jin is ass. And everybody fucking knows Devil Jin is ass, and it's really hard to say why because, or it's not really hard to say why, but it's hard to know why without experiencing it. Obviously he used to be like a top 2 character on release, but now he's still as difficult as he was and always has been, but has to play in a weird gimmicky way, and his regular stuff is really ass, so you can't play in basic. His hell sweep still flips him over, so you don't get like a wall combo from it, which I think could change in my opinion. Like if you made the hell sweep just leave him front turn, that would be better for the character. His mids are very lackluster, like his up forward 4 is a heat engager, his forward 4-2 with the 4-4-2 buffs, or 4-4-2 nerfs, sorry, have made him like right in your face when you block it. His down forward 1 is like terrible, it's so bad. His low pokes, his down back 2 is seeable, his down 3 is good, but like dude, you're running into like launchers trying to do down 3. So the only thing that's good about this character right now is his electric and just the back forward 2. So maybe take away the heat engage off of forward 4 and make it knock down again. I'm not too sure what they want to do with this character. It seems like they want him to just be edgy and do the charge up gimmicks and whatnot. So help out my goat Kudans, man. He's trying really hard. Dragunov. So Dragunov is one of the most hated characters right now because everybody knows that he's really broken. Some things that I think would fix him would be QCF4 not hitting grounded, QCF4 maybe not putting him into crouch and dash, back 4-2 being -10, and that would help a lot. He overall, like before the game came out, I knew he was going to be strong because Dragunov overall is like an aggressive character already with the homing low, and just having those basics would already make him strong. So I don't think he would need huge buffs. And then they gave him like full crouch, full down forward 1-4, which is a huge problem. And then they gave him QCF4. And these things are both really insane because they both help each other at the wall, right? Like I don't know how many people in the comments or in chat can recall a moment where they block QCF4 at the wall, then they guess for the low, and they don't block it because they're scared of a mid, and then they QCF4 again, and then they heat smash and you duck and you die, right? So like it's really dumb. I think heat smashing from crouch is really stupid. Putting you in crouch after CD4 is like a big problem. I think if you just made it like so that he didn't have access to the full crouch low without like automatically after QCF4 would be a huge change. And his damage is fine. His heat engagers are pretty much fine besides like back 4-3, but a lot of people duck it. If they make back 4-2 -10, then it would give more incentive for the drag player to do the high, and they die for that too. So that would be really healthy for the game. Feng Wei. Feng Wei is in a weird spot. A lot of people think he's really broken. A lot of people think he's mid. He doesn't win tournaments yet, but he's not supposed to be super strong. I think something that's like underrated for a lot of people that play Feng is like how easy it is to just back tempo without dying. I think if they could somehow make back tempo less stupid, it would be good. His overall damage is probably too high for a Feng because Feng is supposed to be the neutral character. He's supposed to have strong basic buttons and pokes and play a lot of interactions, but now with like all the damage he has off of his routes and combo extenders, he does as much damage as like a lot of the top tiers. So nerf his damage, nerf his heat smash, wall spatting from range 3. He'd be a lot healthier. He's still like kinda semi difficult to play at the top level. Hwoarang is a lot of casual players hate him. A lot of people that don't know how to fight him hate him, and yeah, I'm on the boat where I think his down 3-4 should be reverted. The only thing I think that's really broken is the 2-jab counter hit in heat, and I think they should either take it away or just give him like a heat dash out of it so that he can't do it multiple times. I've been in a situation too many times where I get heat bursted by Hwoarang and then they do the mix up of 2-4-4-4 or down back 4-4-4-4 and back 4 into RFS 4-4-4, and it just like, you know, fucks you up. Jack 8. Oh, Jack 8, you terrible character, man. Jack is in a weird spot. A lot of this game is balanced around movement, and Jack is one of those characters that can't step heat bursts. So I think that being completely taken away from Jack, Kuma, and Panda makes them automatically not as good as the other characters, right? You don't have that option of doing that. I believe you can Gamma Howl them, right? Or whatever his stance is called, but that shit is not as good. So I think being able to, I don't know, have a better way of beating heat burst somehow, or just like heat in general, because they're just sitting ducks sitting there. I think his down back 1 could use a damage buff. I think his jackhammer needs to be a knockdown again. His stance stuff is cool. I like his bubble. His bubble's cool. The only time Jack is really scary is when he does like Golem into heat, or not Golem, yeah, Gamma Howl into heat, and you have to guess between the high or the mid launcher. That's like the only time where I think he's really good, and then the other times it's like straight fundies. So I do want some Jack buffs. Maybe give him more chip on like Jackhammer or something. Jin Kazama is one of the most talked about characters today. He is really stupid and he feels really easy to play, but my argument is that he has some hard matchups. But here's what I could say to address Jin to make him a little bit more balanced. Down 2 is like the only non-launch punishable launching counter hit low, I think, in the game. Most of them either give a follow-up or they're not launch punishable, right? So making down to -15 would be really healthy, since a lot of people's launchers start with 15. It doesn't have to be like a stagger or anything, but making it 1 frame minus would be really cool, because a lot of time you want to jab control Jin because he does a lot of these big moves, but he just does down 2 instead and you just die. So instead of having to force us to play this reactive low defense against Jin and letting him have control in and like pushing us to the wall, it would be better if we could actually fight back, right? Another thing would be to make his heat smash not teleport you to the wall from range 3 from the middle of the stage, making his mid dive kick minus on block so that he actually does have to use the high. Because right now it's like at the wall you block the mid dive kick, you block the high dive kick, you block the mid dive kick, and you're just like, okay, I'm in a lose-lose situation here. What's the point in even guessing, right? So making the mid dive kick actually minus would be more intuitive with like what you're guessing for. The reward would be better for the guesser a little bit. So everything else, his damage, his wall carry, I haven't even talked about that. I haven't even talked about 2-1-4 counter hit knocking down. It's fine. Like you can keep that control that Jin has and keep the identity without having the stupidity of a single move like down 2. Oh yeah, up forward 2 needs to be -10. Also, that shit is dumb. So Jun Kazama, she's in a decent spot right now. She used to be top tier in the beginning also, and like annoying with her heat smash, because the heat smash used to heal half her health on block, and now it doesn't barely do anything on block, which is healthy in my opinion. Her heat forward 1+2 I believe is good. The only thing I want for June, and I recently played a lot of June, is I wish she had like a better 15 frame. Like I think she should get a 15 frame launcher. I think everything else is fine. Her cans are really good, her pokes are really good, she's really solid with back 2-1, and her heat mode is really cool. I would like to see maybe like more damage off the low heat smash possibly, because right now it just feels like so obvious and it's like -14. So maybe buff that, but that's the only thing. People are still spamming the the heat smash for the most time when they're in heat, so that just tells you something, right? They just don't think that the other parts of her heat are that strong. Kazuya is in a really good spot right now. The only thing I would change is maybe CD 1+2. Shout out my goat Keisuke. His combos have more stability now. He has some of the most obnoxious mixes, and he's still really difficult with like how much defense you have to play. I don't think down back 1+2 should hit grounded for when he's on the ground into heat dash. That's really dumb. But besides that, I don't really have much. Maybe make his hell sweep first whiff into the high, make that shit like a -13 or something, because right now it's safe and you have to duck it if they whiff the first hit, but he also has the mid. King is in a spot where he has to kind of work to grab you now because his grabs don't home anymore. He is a lot more linear in his game, so like sidestepping right against him helps a lot, but his problem is not him attacking you, it's attacking King. And the problem with that is like his down back 1+2 is like he's just like doing this across the screen, and they can cancel it whenever they want and crouch, so you can't reliably always try and run up and grab them, because they can either one release the second hit and it's safe, or doing a duck and launching your throw. So I think you should be able to counter hit them with lows now whenever they do that, kind of like a mid power crush that's safe, and it would be healthy. Kuma. Recently Don Billy talked about how Kuma's heat smash should be able to sidestep and how dumb the character is on block or on hit because of all the chip. I think maybe give him better lows and take away some of the chip damage, because I know the design was to like make him into a chip damage character and then hit the heat smash and they lose all the health. The one thing I will say for Panda and Kuma is take away the wall combo. That shit is dumb. And to maybe give him some better lows and better pokes, because right now he just feels like a gimmick character and like a first to two, first to one character, and he struggles in long sets because there's only like one-dimensional ways to play him, and every single Kuma feels like rank true in ranked. Making him more fundamentals based would help tie in like the defense that you have to develop for playing Kuma. Lars is weird. Lars is a character that has gone so far from his original identity into this stancy mix-up 50-50 Den 3 character and throw out launchers character. I don't really know what they can really change about him, because the design is the reason why he sucks, right? Because you're, like I said with Kuma, there's only really one way to play this character. That's all you can really do. His only good lows are when he's in stance or in crouch. But if I were to turn back time, like Tag 2 Lars would be so nice to have in this game, have him like play fundamental and all that, make him like a valid tournament character, because like there's a reason why nobody plays Lars at the top level, and it's not because of how bad he is, but because of how risky you have to play him. Allah is in an amazing spot right now, maybe almost too good. He took out his looping slide, but he still has it when he is in heat. His nunchuck still launches in heat. He has a lot of DSS mix-up. His 1-on-1 is broken. I think the only thing I would change about Law is make him get like 1-on-1 into the jump into nunchuck. That's fine. Instead of giving a full counter hit launch in heat, that he's like Akuma basically. And I think he's the only one with a 10 frame counter hitting launcher in this game. So nerf that. I think everything else is okay. Lee feels the same. He has a lot of better moves in neutral, so like 1+2 is now plus. He has back 3-3. He has more lows to access now, because before he didn't really have that many besides a knockdown slide. Instead of the knockdown slide, now he has the slide that leaves you in crouch, and it's plus as fuck. The problem with Lee right now is his heat mode is really whatever. His heat smash does no damage and is launch punishable, so either make it -14 and do more damage, or -14, or make it do more damage. Oh wait, isn't it -14 now? But it just needs to do more damage, man. That shit is just ass. Why does Claudio have a better heat smash than Lee when they're supposed to be the same thing, right? Leo is kind of meh too right now. I think one thing that would be nice for Leo is to make sure that 1-4 doesn't go into stance every time. Having an option to cancel it would be nice. Their wall carry is really, really nice, and their wall combo is probably the only good thing about the character besides like their pokes. Evasion's still good. Like their game plan is just down back to hit confirm simulator, and it would be more interesting if she had something other than that in neutral, but right now that's all Leo really does, and then mixes you up. Maybe make Hell Sweep faster, I don't know, maybe that would be scary as fuck, but good players are reacting to the Hell Sweep, which is like a buffed Starburst basically in her stance. I don't want to be in a world where Leo's buffed to top 10 or anything, so if you see this part of the video, please skip past it, Michael Murray. Leroy is in a good spot because fuck Leroy. Also, this isn't like because I hate him or anything, but like he had his moment where he ruined the franchise for a while, right? And they've tried buffing him and keeping his identity as it is, like very stancy, very Wing Chun, having like basics and parries and stuff. The community doesn't need to see a strong Leroy again, or like a high play rated Leroy, right? So I think he's still good where he is actually, with his new size at 1+2 that they gave him, and the chip and all the heat smashes and stuff. I don't know. If they gave him back his Hell Sweep, that shit would be really annoying, man. But they gave it to him in Hermit, which makes him like kind of meh. But leave him hit where he is. Like, I'm definitely someone that likes more nerfs than more buffs. Lily. A lot of people tell me that Lily's in a good spot right now, and I think she's still really good. Lily and Ling Xiaoyu have the same problem with Elisa, where defensively they're supposed to shine, where they're either hard to hit, hard to track, hard to run your offense against, and then when they get into the offensive side, they have too much momentum and they can just carry that. It feels like the neutral is something that you kind of have to like play a lot slower or give up against this character and Link. In turn, they have all this overwhelming momentum on the other side with Feisty Rabbit and all that. I do like that 3-1 can be parried. I do think that they should take away the tracking on her heat smash on standing. Make it so that when she charges her Feisty Rabbit, she doesn't regain heat. I think that is really obnoxious. Nerf Matterhorn. I don't think Matterhorn needs a touch. I think she's fine with her. You know, she's still doing Lily stuff. Like, the thing that we need to talk about when we're like nerfing characters is that we need to keep their identity. And Matterhorn is a high risk, high reward move, so it's fine. Oh, Nina, you fucking bitch. I'm sorry. Anyway, Nina is a top tier, and prior to T8, she wasn't that popular. And she's always been like that character that's like a little bit difficult and has hard execution, but now they're running around doing down forward 1-2, down forward 1-2, down forward 1-2, 1-2, down forward 1-2, and she just controls so much of the game. So either Nina's down forward 1-2 shouldn't jail, right? Which is whoa, calm down. But like that would be a huge fix. Making her guns do less chip damage or removing the guns in general. Nina has that same thing where like with bears where like you can just get chipped out once she's in heat. And then I already did mention that her Blonde Bomb Power Crush shouldn't be plus into a heat dash. I do like that she still has that slight weakness in having weak lows like down back 3 and wipe the floor being reactable, but her mids just don't let you play the game, and you have to like play into the down forward 1-2 and risk getting counter hit rather than trying to step it, because it just feels impossible to move against this character with back 2-2, and down forward 1-2 just stops you from using your entire move list, and she can just do down forward 1-2 hold forward and down forward 1-2 down forward 1-2. Down forward 1-2 hold forward should be less plus, so that down forward 1-2 hold forward into like while 74 isn't gonna beat jabs. But yeah, this fucking character needs to go. Jesus fucking Christ. The damage nerfs are not enough. Panda can stay ass. We don't need strong bears. Like, I think Panda Kuma are strong enough. I don't know what I would give to bears that I haven't said to Kuma already. Like the same, like give him fundamental like moves. The problem with Panda is that her heat is way worse than Kuma's. So like she's just like the worst character in the game, basically. They have some cool Oki stuff and like the sit into the stance and whatnot. But overall, it's just gimmicky. You know, if you could just give him more than one play style to the character, it would be more interesting and more interesting to fight. So fighting Panda feels like you're trying to knock down a tower in League of Legends. Paul Phoenix is fucked up right now, but I promised a truce to not talk about Paul Phoenix with my boy Glaciating. So I will not talk about any nerfs besides maybe a low heat smash being launch punishable or -14. Deep dive is cool. His punishment's really strong. Damage OD. Overall, I think Paul's in a healthy spot because he's still like kind of hard to play at the highest level. Deep dive is fucked. Maybe do the deep dive low. It needs to be a little bit less damage, and then the forward 2 change. Yes. Raven is in a okay spot now. I think he's on the weaker side, but they did just buff him with the forward 4 being a I-15 frame launcher, which is something I requested for June. Raven is chaos, and Raven is gonna mix you whenever he has all this heat and all this chip and all these parries and stuff. I think the thing I would buff for Raven wouldn't be very substantial because the people that play the character have some tendencies that the character has made them turn into. So even if you do buff your character, you're gonna be hopeless. Don't worry about it. Reyna is in a decent spot right now. I think Reyna's difficult. Ever since the nerfs to down forward 1-2 heat dash, ever since the nerfs to her 4-4-2 tracking, she's not as autopilot controlling the neutral, and you can tell by how Yagami plays, it's a lot harder to win with her at the top level because 4-4-2 into stance isn't very beneficial mix-up at the highest level. She really depends, in my opinion, she really depends on guessing a lot. She feels very casino. Just live or die by the fucking choices that you make. Yeah, I don't know if I would buff anything. I think she's in a good spot. I think mixing CD3 for whatever, it's cool. Maybe make some of her options not punch parryable in stances would be cool. Shaheen is a little fucked up right now because he has the slide, he has the unblockable and heat, he has the safe down for 2, he has the neutral pokes to play basic, he has a high power crushing engager, he has a low mid from stance that is either a low heat smash that breaks the balcony, or he has a mid heat dash that can combo off of, maybe make his mid heat engager sneak 1+2 minus on block. Not unsafe, but don't make it plus, so that they have more incentive to do other things. For right now, it just feels like I'm always going to go for that into wall slinging 4, or go into that into slide. And it's like, oh, you know, like we're not even caring if we're hitting this move anymore. The guard into forward 2-3 in the open needs to revert. I think that shit is stupid. You give him more damage for doing the guard break in the middle of the stage. That shit is dumb. I think he's okay besides all those things. He just plays really risky, high risk, high reward. And yeah, revert forward 2-3. Steve is in a good spot right now. I think Steve is really strong, but also really difficult. He has to play really stance heavy, so he has to do over here a lot. He has to do sway 4-1-2 and hit confirm that, and there's risk to that. His down for 2 is really linear, and like I don't even use that shit anymore. The counter hit feels really lackluster with like what you get off of it. Maybe make it knock down again, but don't give it the Shiro combo, you know. It would be nice if he had more homing abilities than up back 2, because Steve gets side step right ducked a lot. Make his down back 3-2 not go into stance and just knock down instead would be cooler, and it's something that's only accessible at the wall, so that's like cool. That's the only thing that I really think about. I think his heat grabs are fine. I think the damages on those are fine. I think he still has the aura of like not getting hit because he has back 1, so he has defensive things and all the sways. The only thing I do think is ass is like having to always line out your offense, his down forward 2 being basically unusable. So that's basically it. Maybe give his down forward 1 some more range, but yeah, Victor is rightfully ass right now. I think he's middle to bottom middle tier, one of the most frustrating characters to play against. He is a new character, but he's gone through so many balance changes in the first year. I'm not sure what new mechanics they're going to bring, because every season they add a new mechanic, but that could greatly change whether or not he's really balanced or not. But right now it just feels like Dunkats into stance or back 1+2. I do think he's in a decent spot though. Leave him where he is. I think that's fine. Maybe the new mechanics would be cool. I think his low heat smash could use more buffs. It's kind of ass. It's launch punishable and it does no damage, so Ming Xiaoyu has been a huge terror of mine, and I won't go overboard with what I want changed, but Xiaoyu has the same thing with Lily and Elisa, where it's really hard to hit them. The player that plays her has to like work pretty hard to AOP things successfully, so because you're supposed to die. But I think there needs to be a more higher profile of her AOP, so she's going under more mids and lows in this game, so nerf AOP a little bit. What I need them to nerf is the charge heat low and charge heat mid, and the reason why is because the low is still minus 13. The longer they charge it, it doesn't matter, and you just have to stay on the ground and eat that, otherwise you're guessing into an unfavorable mix-up. The second thing that I think should go is back turn heat smash. So back turn heat smash is being fucking abused. Like, these people that play Xiaoyu just want to get into that hypnotist situation. They do not give a fuck about using their whole meter, and that just speaks miles for how good it is, right? Sure, they use their whole meter, but the problem with it isn't that it puts you in a mix-up. It's that even if it hits you, you are still in the mix-up after. So I think it should knock down on hit and yeah, reset neutral after and just give it a damage, because the mix-up is gonna happen regardless whether it hits or not, and I think that's really stupid. So Yoshi is top 3. Everybody knows why Yoshi's broken. Been flash 1-1, 3-1, whatever. The character has so much aura for anybody that picks up the controller. I like what they did with him in this game, where they made it so that Flash only gave a heat engager in this game, but it's too many times where they can get the impact of like being possibly flashed lets the Yoshimitsu player play very like pussy, and you don't want a game where like you have to play slow, right? Especially in a game where they say like, yo, aggression's really good, and then you run into Yoshimitsu and you have to change your entire game plan. This character needs a lot of stuff removed, and let's talk about it. So Spin already does more damage to themselves, which is good. I do think Flash needs some either damage changes or something so that we're more inclined to hit him. His hop kick should be more minus, so maybe like minus 15, minus 14, because in T7 Chloe had the similar hop kick and it was launch punishable, so at least it was balanced like that. Make his unbreakable guard setup, you need to remove that, and also the 50-50 at the wall. I think the 50-50 at the wall is really obnoxious because there's Yoshimitsu players like Drizzy that have told me that they just react and then they do the unblockable. So it's not even a mix-up, it's literally just a setup that you have to hold, and one launch will get you killed and lose the round. Down forward 2 needs to go also. Make it minus 10, make it minus 12, and make his hop kick minus 15, and make his either his heat or his unblockable mix up at the wall, or an unguard break unblockable thing in the open disappear, or nerf the 15 frame launching down forward 2. So those are the main things I think that need to go. Spin has already been nerfed, and that's a good step in the right direction. Zafina, I think Zafina needs back 1+2 in neutral. I think she lacks like good lows outside of stance, and the reason why people play the way she is because of the lacking of the pokes, right? Like she still has down forward 1, she still has like good mids. It's just that like if you're not doing running 1+2 and doing chip with the damage, then you're not really playing her correctly. And like it's not like the back 1+2 was like a huge problem in T7. It was just like, oh, I can't turtle at this range versus her, so I have to go hit her. And it wasn't like it was like it wasn't huge damage. Like it did like little damage and it was launch punishable. So I think it's balanced enough for Zafina to have that. But yeah, Eddie Gordo is a problem, and I think his problem is that he initiates the 50-50s way too much. I can't really say too much on the character because I don't think I have a huge understanding, disclaimer, on the character. I might pick him up. I do dislike the being able to heat smash from a stance. That is really obnoxious. I do dislike how his relaxed state counts as crouching. So like if you use a 15 frame generic down forward 2, you cannot launch punish back 3-3 to relax, and you can't punish like 1-1-3 even though they balance it to be launch punishable. Not everybody can launch it. So like people like Shaheen, Reina, Nina, etc., they cannot launch back 3-3 and just make it so that he's standing yet. So that would be my only change. I think he's like not necessarily healthy, but he does what he does, like, and it is a risk reward for both sides. But being able to heat dash off of a 4-3 is really, really obnoxious, man. No, relax 4-3, sorry. Lydia's in a decent spot right now where she has like 4-4-2 in the stance, and she has shitty lows in neutral, and she has to do these guard breaks and stuff. So I think Lydia is fine where she is. Heihachi's tracking is terrible. I think the only thing that sucks about Heihachi is his small Tekken. His down forward 1 into the charge 2 is fine, I think. His damage is deserved. He's flashy as fuck. His small Tekken needs a little bit of a tracking buff to one side maybe, because you've been able to step both ways against him, and his electric doesn't track as much as the other characters. So that's the only thing I would say. Everything else is fine because he is just released. And then one thing I do want to talk about is rage art. So the last thing I'm going to talk about for my wish list for season 2 is actually going to be rage arts. So there's a lot of situations where I'll play a character like June. The other person has rage at 60% or whatever, 40% because of chip and healing. I think it would be a lot more healthier if the other person were able to always die from your punish, right? So this is the max damage she can do. So it'd be a lot healthier if she could like actually punish it with a combo and just always kill. So let it be more minus on block, and that's all I really asked for. Yeah, long video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you guys have any more things that you think I should cover, then let me know. But yeah, thanks for watching, and check out the channel, the stream, and my Twitter. So peace.